Hey gang, Luke Austin here with week 7 of my fantasy football favorites. Can you believe we're already 7 weeks into the fantasy football season? That means about halfway, because generally most leagues go to week 13, so there's only 7 weeks left. At this point, you're going to be focusing on streaming players and basically who to play week to week, who to pick up week to week. So with that in mind, here's one of each position to start and sit. We're going to kick it off at the quarterback spot with Carson Wentz from the Eagles. He's had 20-plus fantasy points the last 2 games, and they torched Washington in week 1. So they're playing Washington again this week without cornerback Josh Norman. So I say go ahead, Carson Wentz is a great play this week. As far as running back goes, Mark Ingram for the Saints. They're playing the Packers this week. Adrian Peterson has left the Saints, freeing up a lot of touches for Ingram. He put up 30 points last week, and Green Bay's defense has allowed double-digit PPR points to 7 different running backs this season. I say go with Mark Ingram. If he's on your bench, put him in. If you can pick him up, go ahead. Nelson Agholor, wide receiver from the Eagles. I already said Carson Wentz should be poised for a big game this week. Agholor has been one of Wentz's favorites. He's had double-digit points his last few outings, and again, no Josh Norman for the Redskins. I like Nelson Agholor a lot this week. Jimmy Graham, tight end for the Seahawks. He's come on the last couple of weeks. He's got double-digit points last week and the week before, I believe. And the Giants have given up the most yards, touchdown catches, and fantasy points to tight ends of anybody all year. Play Jimmy Graham. As far as sits go, sit Jameis Winston. He's facing the Bills. He's banged up. He hurt his shoulder last week. Not sure if he's 100%, so that could come into play. Plus, the Buffalo Bills defense has been really solid. No quarterbacks put up more than 13 points against the Bills this year. If you can afford to sit Jameis Winston, go ahead and sit him. Orleans Darkwa from the New York Giants, sit him as well. Seattle has only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns all season, and they've bottled up most running backs that they've played against too. So sit Orleans Darkwa if you can. And Sammy Watkins, once again, he's been a constant on my sit list all year. No production. He's had basically 2 points in every game except for the 1 game that he did score, and that was week 2 or 3. So go ahead and sit Sammy Watkins. And continuing on the constantly on my sit list trend, I said sit list, by the way, Martellus Bennett, tight end for the Green Bay Packers. He's had almost no production all season long. Now Aaron Rodgers is down, so no idea how Brett Hundley is going to handle using Martellus Bennett. I say sit him at least this week until you see what's going on with Green Bay's offense. So there you have it. Start Carson Wentz, start Mark Ingram, start Nelson Agholor, start Jimmy Graham, sit Jameis Winston, sit Orleans Darkwa, sit Sammy Watkins, and sit Martellus Bennett. I'll take your questions for week 8 at Luke at BigFrog104.com. Good luck in week 7.